everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Luisa. Well, today I thought I would talk a little bit about myself, and the only reason I want to do this is because I've had a couple of viewers ask me where I'm from, where my accent is from, how did I get started with jewelry. So I thought I would just go ahead and let you guys know, because I know maybe some of you are curious about my accent in particular. So let's get started. So before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to Kimberly. Kimberly is one of my viewers, and she was the one that made the comment about my audio. And so I totally, got so focused on that she was right. My audio was terrible. I did not have a microphone. So thank you to Kimberly. And Kimberly, I know there may be several Kimberlys out there. I don't want to give away your last name for privacy, but you know who you are. I appreciate your recommendation, and I think my audio is a little bit better today. What do you think? All right, so first of all, I'm really old, okay? That magic elixir does wonders to keep me looking young through the centuries. Just kidding. But no, I've been around for a long time. I've always been an artist ever since I was a little girl. Just to go back into my background, I was born in Madrid, Spain, and I left Spain when I was very, very young. I was 2 years old when my parents migrated to Australia. That's where I grew up. Initially, I lived in Perth, and then we moved to Brisbane, and I spent the rest of my teens in Brisbane. And all throughout my childhood, I was very, very interested in art, and I always kind of dabbled in art. I won a lot of art competitions in school, but it was never any formal training. It was all just natural abilities. And so, yeah, I've always been interested in art. In the 1970s, we went on a world trip, and I got to see my uncle, who was an artist in Spain. He wasn't real famous, but he had his own studio, and he was able to exhibit a lot of his work, and he did a lot of oils and watercolors. And I sat down with him one day, and he went ahead and painted a beautiful watercolor painting, and I got very inspired by that, and I was able to reproduce it for many, many years after that. And so then that's how I got started really in art, and I started doing a lot of paintings on my own using acrylics. I dabbled in sketching as well, using all kinds of media. So yeah, I've always been interested in art, and then later on it evolved into a company. I actually opened up my own company. It was a company that specialized in artistic wall effects, using different kinds of things like sponges and rags and specialized brushes. We used a lot of different mediums. We used plasters, color washes, glazes. We did gold leafing, silver leafing, all kinds of trompe l'oeil effects. We did it all, and I had assistants, and I learned a lot. It was very educational. I did it for 4 years, but somebody had to go out and get the jobs, and that was not me. I was just not a very good business person. I'm an artist. So that was the challenge with this company, and also having a son who was very young, in kindergarten at the time. I had to leave the job site to go get him from school. So that was very, very challenging, and it became almost impossible to continue running this company. So what I really needed was a business person, somebody to go out and do the consulting, and go out to the households, do the measuring, consulting, show off the sample boards, that kind of thing. I was trying to do it all myself, so it wasn't working out very well, but I did do it for 4 years. I had to make a decision, and at the end of 2004, I decided to close down my company. I also did a lot of that work in my own house. So let me go ahead and show you some of the work that I did on the main level of my house, mostly. I mean, I did run the faux finish here in the basement. The walls are faux finished, and also up in the bedroom level. But I did some very artistic work on the main level where the living room is. So let me go ahead and show you those. So here's my breakfast nook, and as you can see, there's the faux finish, and this is my kitchen. So I did some faux finish on the wall there to resemble stone. It's one of my first attempts, so it's not that great, but You can see the three-dimensional effect. That's actually a flat wall. There's no dimension at all. It's all done with paint, and it's an illusion. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Some of it. And then over here, I used a sponging effect. Okay, so as you can see, there's the sponging effect. And again, this was one of my first attempts. So it's not perfect, but I did do some dimensional stenciling above the doorway that leads out to my patio. And let me just get in a little bit closer so you can see. There it is, real pretty, very neutral, kind of a neoclassical design. And I also did the same thing above the fireplace. Let me get in closer so you can see. It's tone on tone, so it's hard to see, but I didn't want it to be obvious. I wanted it to be subtle. I wanted a nice subtle effect, and that's what I achieved by doing tone on tone. And then, of course, I also did some artwork on my furniture. This was a raw piece of furniture that I obtained quite a while ago. And I did some stenciling on the furniture and some whitewashing as well. Let me close it up so you can see. Okay, and I used a very translucent paint to get a subtle effect. I also ran the design down the side of the piece of furniture. It's a corner unit, and along the bottom. And I added some paint on the knobs as well to match the stenciling. Okay, so that's the corner unit where I keep my TV, and there's some of my Spanish heritage swords from Toledo. So I also did stenciling on the bar stools. As you can see, each one is different. A very translucent paint. I wanted it to be translucent so that you could see the wood grain. Very pretty. And then I also did the light fixture. The same kind of design that's on the corner unit where the TV is. The exact same design. So yeah, so that's some of the faux finishing that I did in my own house. And it's been like that for quite a while. I haven't had the need to change it, amazingly. I think it's because the colors are neutral, and you know, when you work with neutral colors, there's one of my cats. I love this. I did not do this piece. I think it's an artist out of Washington State, and I don't remember her name. I guess I could look at it right here. It's called Day Morton Designs. Day Morton Designs. It was a gift that was given to me by my son, who used to live in Washington State. There's one of that's actually Boo Boo, and then my other cat. She did one of my other cat as well, Lulu, and it's done with markers. And since we're here, let me show you my collection of mud people, miniature mud people. These are actually from Spain, and I think I pretty much own every single one that was produced by this company. So anyway, sorry for sidetracking, but yeah, getting back to the colors, I think when you work with neutral colors, then it's a lot easier to live with, and you don't have the need to change your decor as often. In addition to faux finishing, I also did some folk art painting. This is a wooden keychain holder, very detailed work, which I absolutely love. I also painted on wooden boxes. Here's a wooden box. Same kind of thing. I did like a whitewash on the wood, and then I painted the floral design on top of that. And let me show you a close-up of the bar stool. Here's a close-up of the bar stool. This is actual stenciling with that translucent paint. And yeah, that's what I did. And I hope that you've enjoyed my little tour. So let me go back to telling you about my journey. So then I decided to close my company in 2004, and one thing that I did not mention that has been a part of my life pretty much since I can remember is fitness. So I've been a fitness instructor for many, many, many years, decades actually, without giving away my age. I've always done fitness. I've been a fitness instructor, taught a lot of group exercise classes, everything from cardio to strength to dance to flexibility. So all throughout my life, I've been involved with fitness. And so when I closed my company in 2004, I went straight to fitness, and that became my full-time job. So I became a fitness coordinator, and I ran a group exercise program for government. And then eventually I got into the management side of the fitness facility, and I stayed there for quite a long time, 15 years. But throughout my whole career, I still had my creative outlet, and my creative outlet later on became jewelry. And so I got involved with jewelry. I took some classes from a local beading store, and here's the first piece that I created. I still have it. Let me just show you. And then I followed a lot of tutorials on YouTube and books, and sometime, I don't know when it happened, I think it was late 2000s, I took some classes from a Russian artist by the name of Zoya Gutina at the Torpedo Factory in Alexandria, Virginia. And it was one-on-one. I absolutely loved it. She did not speak English, so it was a bit of a challenge. But I sat down with her several times, and we created some pieces, and I got absolutely hooked on beaded jewelry, bead weaving to be specific. It was very involved, very detailed, but I learned a lot, and that's what really got me started. So last year I decided to retire from my government job because it was just becoming too stressful, if that's the right word. I liked working in fitness, but it was more on the management side of it. And I got involved with IT, I got involved with a lot of things that did not include fitness actually. So fitness became a very small piece of what I did, and it no longer was enjoyable. So I decided for my own wellness that I was going to retire early. I'm a little bit young to be retired, but I went ahead and did that. And I wanted to just focus on jewelry alone. So that's what I did, and here I am. And that's my story. So about my accent, yes, I do sound a little bit Australian, but not much, because I've been in this country since 1980. So I don't know what kind of accent I have. I've been asked many times where I'm from. Are you from Boston? Are you from New York? Where are you from? It's very diluted Australian. So it's a mixture of Australian and American. I really don't know, but that's why I have this accent, and that's my background. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's kind of short, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background about myself. And anyway, I'm looking forward to making more videos, and hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.